Okay, K6LDL, moved up to 96. The signals, the frequency 95 is pretty busy. K6LDL, anybody for the earlies for the SwanNet? K6 little green light.
Hey, good evening to you there, Skip, and 9 AMI.
Good to hear you. Yeah, it's a little bit better here. Don't want to get too close to 900 there. By the way, they got about 3 kcs there. And that's, 4 kcs is probably alright. Maybe you could move another half a kc. So, what's a good word? How's things over in northern Nevada? N9AMI, K6LDL.
Things are good over here. Not much going on at the moment to report anyway. I don't know. I guess I've been hamming it up a bit today. Was on the military West Coast Military Collectors Net this afternoon, and had the Swan here tonight. So I guess I'm playing a little radio. What the heck, right? That's what it's all about. Good signal over here tonight, Skip. And I'm doing the recording thing again. We'll try it again for kicks. I'm definitely not going to do it every week, but we'll do it again for kicks, and I'll post that when I get it set up.
Well, sometimes it's interesting to see how it goes, especially when you have good patterns and in good conditions between your areas of northern Nevada and here in southern Cal. I gotta put listen to it on the internet. That's true. Okay, I'll find on the military collectors net. I'm just trying to think of a famous ham here from the West Coast. And that's Dennis DeVal. What's it called? The W7 Cowboy. I can't remember. But anyway, he's an old-timer, probably the oldest guy, one of the oldest senior members of the military collectors group. I wonder if he showed up, over.
Give me 1 second here. Hello. Okay. Now we'll kick it on. I switched to the big antenna since we've got a little bit of QSB going on with the other guys back east. I figured I'd go to that. No Dennis. No Dennis on that one. But a bunch of other guys, and MS Mike, and Henry used to have a museum up in Virginia City, and W6TOM, and a bunch of military collector guys that know a lot more than I do about all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, I understand. And the reason I asked Dennis, he's probably the senior member. He originally was out of the West Coast, East Coast there, and I think out of Massachusetts, Vermont, had a home, and then operated from Europe for many, many years in DO phone. And ran military equipment of all different types, you know, from early World War II on. So, he's out of Glendale. What does this call? I know him in person, but it's been so many years. I mean, maybe go back about 30 years or roughly. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that the MRTV is so good. They used to meet the St. Louis Obispo now. They moved their tent to, what is it, that community just a little bit closer there. Well, anyway, can't promise this will no longer serve me. So it goes. You're sounding good. Let's see if anybody else is around. But N9AMI, K6LDL, and SwanNet standing by.
Yeah, I heard Ron in there. He's talking. Go ahead, Skip. I think he's tuning in, maybe Utah or something there. Give it a second, I guess. And yeah, no, Andy TKS runs it, and I guess has been running it for a while. So he's a very knowledgeable individual about all that military stuff, and he has some really nice stuff. So. But anyways, you back yet, Skip?
Yeah, I'm back. Could you pick up Jay? I think was in there somebody else. And then
Okay, Jay, were you in there? Anybody else for the West Coast Vintage SwanNet? Come on now.
Yeah, okay, 6ZSR.
All right, K6ZSR. I don't know if Skip's hearing you or not, but I'm sure he knows now. And good to hear you. I think you're one of the big Tuesday night guns there, aren't you?
Well, I don't know about big, but yeah, I'd love to get on to the Vintage network there, the Vintage Radio Roundtable. A lot of fun there. And I didn't get your call and name there, over.
Not a problem. The call's N9AMI, and my name is John, located in northern Nevada.
Okay, big signal, John, into Santa Barbara.
Okay, very good. And YEC George, hello there.
hey, my friend, big signal. I hear a Santa Barbara station in there. And just got off the telephone. Had a radio thing to do. And so here we are now on amateur radio. Big signal, John. Back to you.
Okay, very good. Skip, did you get those? Did you get George and did you get K6ZSR? I think he's still trying to get Utah at WebSDR coming in. Anyways, let me send it back over to Ron. I guess we'll just pass around till Skip jumps back in. KD6VWS at 9 AMI.
Check out,
Jay was in there.
I don't know if you got me or not, 76 YEC. And hello to George, YEC, you're quite strong. Let's pick up the other station and then pass it to George.
Yeah, Jay was in there. WB6, MWL, and Skip, we also have K6ZSR and George YEC for the list there. Jay, go ahead and take a round.
Okay, very good. Let's see if I can get a little more power here. That's good. AMI, WB6MWL. Yeah, we're up to Swan 600 coins tonight. Got some good down here. Now, I'll keep it on 800 or 900 watts here. I think. It's not lying. With the Swan CD76 digital readout here. So that's the story there. That's something you did a little bit tough on Ron Ship. I skipped down. Moved the station bit down. And one of the guys back east is just turning it up here. So I'm going to shut too. I think there's just 1 or 2 kcs down here. So I'm going to turn it back to you, John. And you're sounding good. I just look at the S meter, but you sound good down here, John. Over.
Okay, WHK, we got you down also. WHK, I'm writing it down. Okay, Jay, yeah, you're sounding good, and yeah, I'm getting hammered by those guys below us, and the static crashes also are just really came up, and everybody's strong signals, but you're mixed right in with all the QRM and QRN, so it's interesting. Let's see, WHK, I guess, let's see, Skip, who do you want? We got this all discombobulated. You got WHK in there. I'm going to send it back up to Skip, and maybe he can sort out the list and let him run the show there. Go ahead, Skip.
Okay, thank you. The NIAMI and the Swan K6 little green light. Okay. They're getting hammered from the East Coast. They may have to move up a little bit, but it's tolerable. We can work with that. Welcome aboard, George, YEC, and also Jay. And I thought I heard you a little earlier there, MWL, and hello, Phil, WHK. As I said, I got an email from Paul saying that conditions were not favorable and he was worried about possible lightning and others and strong winds. So we'll see. If things have changed, he may try to check in, but the sort of indicators he'll probably play it on the safe side. That's K2LMQ. All right, let's go back to the house. John, go ahead, pick it up and pass it to BWS there, to Ron, and Ron over to Jay, and Jay to YEC George, and George to Phil, and then we will stop by and see if anybody else wants to join us. The Swan Group, K6 little green light. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Skip, you had Mike also, K6ZSR right after Ron. K6ZSR right after Ron, okay?
You're absolutely right. Write them down and I will take care of that. Yeah. All right, let's do that. After Ron, we have my apologies. It must be Saturday. Go ahead, John.
Okay, guys, very good. Yeah, it's a bit of a soupy mess here tonight, but we'll make it as usual. As usual. Yep, just running the Swan 350B here tonight into the NCL 2000. About 1,300 watts. And the 1,400 foot horizontal loop is going. I had to switch over that a little earlier. I was running the OCF when I first talked to Skip there, but I figured I better switch just because of what's going on the band here. A little more help anyways. And I can hear people a little bit better, of course, on it because it's horizontal. And the long wire doesn't help. It helps a bit. So thanks to Art Bell Jr. there. What else? I am doing the recording thing tonight again. Like I said, don't expect it every week, but a little bit different framing on the camera, so we'll see how that works out. And I'll post that. It'll probably be by tomorrow when I post that up there on the Groups IO deal. And yeah, that's about it. Everybody has good signals. I mean, 15, 20 plus over, but so does everybody else down the band a little bit and the static. So anyways, let's see. Ron, coming over to you. KD6VWS and 9 AMI.
John, N9 AMI, KD6VWS, we're on Jasper Tree, and I'm on the Swan 350 Charlie, and seated with the 404 Charlie Shure handheld microphone, and I'm on the long wire, up about 25 feet, about 180 feet long, running north and south, and I have the counter place running underneath of it. Halfway through the next one there, and then I'm using an MXJ versus tuner to all the way down. And yeah, I had to furnish the contacts on the relay because Tuesday night, you know, it was Swan night on Tuesday night on the vintage round table, and went to use it, and I couldn't get it to come back to receive. Second, let me see what's going on here. Okay, there we go. Very good evening to you, Ron. Your sound is good. This is K6 ZSR, and I'm copying you on, I'm copying most everybody there on the KSS web receiver. Conditions appear that they really haven't settled down here, so there you have it. But anyway, I think, like John said, we'll definitely make a go of it. Not a problem. And by the way, this evening I'm running a Swan 500 CX. Also, anybody that can comment on my audio, the other night I said there seemed to be some problems. There seemed to be some problems with my audio. I'm wondering if anybody's detecting anything strange. But anyway, I'm running this into an ACOM automatic amplifier, running the legal limit up to an inverted B, only about 20 feet off the ground. So there you have it. And John, I'm going to send it back to you. N9 AMI and the group
Okay, George, I think you got it there.
Yeah, well, Jay was before me, so let me give it to Jay. And Jay, would you give it back to me, and then I'll get it to Phil. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, hey, George, very good. Copy is pretty good. W6REC, WB6MWL. Got a little, got this Tennessee adjusted a little bit better here. This line is off just a little bit. Good grind is pussy on it here on 75. So it's driving the amp a little bit better, just about a kilowatt now. So, I don't know. Of course, when the band's like this, it doesn't make it. You could probably run 5,000 watts, but it doesn't help too much. But I got to give it a little bit down here, John. You're over in here. But like you say, there's a lot of static tonight. There must be storm off to the left of us here somewhere, or maybe to the east too. So I know we've had a lot of rain here in the last 3 days. nothing today, but we had some yesterday, Thursday, and Wednesday, and Tuesday night. So I'm sure we had close to 2 inches here in Montclair, scattered over there. So, as I said, we're on the 600 twins, Swan 600 twins, drink L7. So, over to you, George, and how's everything down there in San Diego, or Lemon Grove, I should say. W6YET in the Swan group, WB6MWL.
All right. Well, W6YET, very good. Everything's great down here in San Diego, and we've had rain, and it's gotten a bit chilly, so had to deal with that. But other than that, everything is going along real well. Running the Kenwood tonight, the TS520 sugar, into the driving the 30L1 for about 600 watts or thereabouts. And watching the tuner here, went over and picked up Bill's 989 today, and had a problem with RF getting into the metering circuit. Anyway, I'm hoping that I've got it fixed. It seems to be working right now, and not too bad of shape. Anyway, I'm hearing everybody very nicely. The stuff back east is just off to the side, not bothering me too much. Everybody has big signal. I am listening on KFS. I can hear some of you on direct, but I just turned the volume down so it doesn't compete. And listening on KFS there tonight. And let's see what else is happening here. I understand about Paul there not getting on with the stormy weather there. And Jay, your twins sound beautiful. I've got a friend of mine that's starting to get interested in getting back on the air. I'm wanting to get his twins going. They have a drifty. They're kind of drifty, he said. But so I'm not quite sure what to say about that. He'll have to get into them and fix them. He just bought a 7300, so I'd like to get him in here, even with the 7300, get him in the flow of checking in. We'll see what happens. And Skip, I'm hearing you very well on KFS. Mike, welcome aboard. And big signal, I'm hearing you over the air, but I'm also hearing you on KFS very nicely. So, and your audio is fine. It was just a little low in frequency, I think, but, you know, who's really paying attention? Anyway, but your audio is fine. I don't know what happened the other night on the VintageNet, but I know something went awry. Maybe you can share with us what you think happened, but it sounds beautiful. So you're doing a good job. With that, let me get to my good friend and neighbor, Phil. And Phil, I guess you would give it back there to Skip, if you would. N6, WHK to take it, W6YET. Use the meter
capacitor and the little sensor board, and that shift is in there, and plus the RF is getting into it. So that's basically what I think George's done, if I'm not mistaken, from what he told me a while ago. A thin piece of copper. And I thought I was going to have to take the whole thing apart, break it down to parade rest, and rebuild it. But if it's working, that's a good thing. We will see. Anyway, with that, back over to you there, Skip. K6LGL. And the group, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah, N6WHK, K6LGL. Yeah, you're a little bit high, but that's okay. You can compensate for that. So good transmission there from all of you. Unfortunately, I'm not hearing you very well there, Phil. I do copy Mike. Mike from Santa Barbara is doing a little bit better there, and that's always welcome. That's fine. Yeah, KFS is not too strong at the moment. No, actually, I'm in northern Utah right now. Yeah. No, I'm on KFS, and yeah. So, not doing. No, northern Utah, not doing that stronger into it, but it's okay. It's alright. And Mike, you and I are running the same model number there from our friend Herb Johnson, 500CX Swan, so you and I, we have the identical ones, the DL, what is it, the famous tubes. Yeah, they're good for a little over 300. I've gotten as much as 350 watts out, which is not bad. So that's kind of interesting. Well, let's do another round, and in the meantime, anybody else care to join us? This is the informal SwanNet, Saturday evening, and when the time changes, I think we will start the net at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time when we're off days. Or no, we'll start the daylight time, but we'll start at 8 o'clock. So I'll start taking the earlies maybe about 7:30. That'll give us about an hour, not quite a difference there. So earlier. So the band condition should be okay, and we'll do the same thing for the AMI net, I think, on Wednesday there. Okay, let's go back to the top. Over back to you there, John. And what are you going to do with the recordings there? And on AMI and the Swan Group, K6LGL. And in the meantime, take another standby to see if anybody cares to join us.
I heard somebody, but I couldn't pull them out, guys. They're off frequency, whoever it is. Okay, I'm just gonna grab it then. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe it was just somebody passing through. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Mike, your audio on the 500CX is excellent. It's I will say, don't laugh. It's broadcast Swan audio. So there you go. No problem at all, man. It's clean. It's clean. So, anyways, everybody still holding up? Jay, the twins are cool, man. That is that's a fun little setup you got there, and you don't see them that often. Hang on to that. That's fun stuff there. So, and if George, of course you're breaking my the needle here. I don't know, like 40 over. Even though you're running lower power than other people, you're always slamming in here. We've got 2 cans and a wire between us all the time, so that's good. Phil, no problem. Everybody's in, no problem. Ron, of course, no problem. So it's all working good. As far as the little recording, we'll see. I'll post it up on the like I did last week. Post it on YouTube and then link it over to the Groups IO deal, and everybody can check it out. You might get a little laugh at something I'm doing on there, but we'll see if you can figure it out. I don't think it'll be too hard. And we'll just leave it at that. But anyways, yeah, good group. And yeah, everything's kind of staying about the same as far as the other guys down below us and the static. It's kind of staying about the same. So what are you going to do? That's how it is sometimes. Let's see. Over to you, Ron. KD6VWS and 9 AMI.
KD6VWS and the Swan group here, K6ZSR, Mike Santa Barbara. And Ron, well, we know exactly what you're talking about weather-wise there. Here in Santa Barbara, it's been unusually windy, unusually cold, and of course, up here we never complain about the rain. We remember the droughts we get every 5 years here, so even though it's been rainy, we love it here. But the doggone, 2 days before the winds hit, I hoisted my inverted V, which is in a palm tree over here, all the way to the top, which is at about 85 feet. And it just seemed like it was really solid. Everything was fine. And 2 days later, the do. So I got my wife's, she's got this extended pole that she used for cleaning. You know, you put like a little duster on the top of it and you get up into the high rafters in our house. So I borrowed that. She was, I was surprised she let go of it. But then I tied the existing inverted V on the top of that. It's only like 20 feet or 17 feet off the ground, but it's enough to do the trick. I went out there today because it got down to about the low 60s, and I figured I'll go out there, but the wind was blowing so doggone hard. It's impossible for me to shoot over that thing. I built a launcher. Out of PVC pipe, so when I pump that thing up to 50 pounds, that thing will go 100 feet over that, you know. And but it doesn't do too good in the wind because I'm using, I think, 50-pound fish line, and that wind just carries it around. So I'm just going to have to wait until it gets warmer and less windy. Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see, George, sorry I'm off frequency. It's entirely my fault, my friend. My hearing is shot. My upper frequencies are gone. And I've kind of tuned everybody in the way I like to hear them basing. And that throws me off frequency. You know what? I looked today because I had a report that my audio was not good. So I went on the internet looking for modifications, audio mods to the 500, and there are none. It's amazing. There's tens of thousands of these radios made. You'd think there would be more modifications out there, but there isn't. So actually, that kind of speaks well of the Swan. Yeah, there's a few modifications, but just a few. You would expect to be hundreds out there, but they're not. At least I haven't been able to find them. I've got the compendium, you know, the Bible there. They got a handful, power supply, stuff like that, but nothing really earth-shattering. So we're going to just leave everything alone. Yeah, we're just going to leave it alone. Love this radio. And Skip, well, you're in good company, Skip. We both have the CX model, which I'm told is the end of the line there for the 500 series. So it's pretty good that we're able to have one, Skip. And I know conditions are bad when I cannot hear Skip direct. If I can't hear the little green light, then I know immediately the conditions are pretty bad here. So there you have it. Okay, I'm going to send it over to Jay, but unfortunately, Jay, I don't know your call letter. So, Jay, please take it, okay? K6 says ZSR Santa Barbara.
Okay, my K6 ZSR, WB6MWL, Montclair. Yeah, you're pretty good copy here. There's a lot of static, but the static seems to subside as well. Mike, so your 500CX sounds good. I have one here too, with the SF-16 separate, and then I'll have to use it in my course, so I've got quite a few songs here. I got a 400, a 350, a 300B, and let's see, what else? I think that's it. And of course these twins, and a Mark IIM. So, and I got quite a bit of great stuff too. So that's the story here. And, yeah, fine on your shooting that up there with, into the tree there. Yeah, that's a good way to get that kind of high, that's for sure. I think you said I might be able to shoot 100 feet. That's pretty darn good. So, well, I'm just going to hear it inverted V, medium 40 inverted V on the, up about 40 feet at the apex there, and then it goes down to about 20 feet on each end. So that's the story here. So I don't know if George signed out there or not. I'm not sure who it goes to next from here. But I'm going to make this my final, and glad to hear everybody tonight. Thanks for checking in and that. So I'm going to turn it over to George. I'm not sure if George signed out or not yet. W6YBC, WB6MWL.
All right. Well, I'm still here. And I tuned in on you, Jay, and Mike. So now I'm a little low on KFS. But anyway, we're tracking. I was counting you over the air there. Let me just see. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wrong way. Darn. Okay. Well, not that I need to get it right, but that's closer. All right. I turned down the volume so it won't run interference with me. Okay, on all the transmissions there. And Mike, very good. Yeah, no, your audio is excellent. So that's probably, Swan did pretty good on the audio side of things. So they picked the right filters, and they usually sound pretty decent. So that's probably why there's nobody out there messing around with mods. And you sound really good. I'm sorry about that. I heard you mention that the other day on the VintageNet about your tree there, the wind's coming up. Boy, oh boy, I would have bet that was a frustration for you. But Angie was very kind to you. Let you use that dust bowl. Yeah, very good. Anyway, wonder how you get that thing up in the palm tree. Do you have somebody comes out and works on the palm tree, or you got a slingshot, or what do you do? How do you get that thing up in that palm tree? Kind of curious. With 85 feet, that's nothing to sneeze about. That's pretty good. So anyway, just kind of wondered about that. And let's see, no Swan. I don't have Swan. I gave the Swan my 270 to Phil there. I've got a 117 power supply, and if there was a Swan laying around that I could pick up, do something with, maybe I would. But yeah, I've been trying to cut back a little bit. Just like I get on the Collins net without Collins gear. Well, I got my 30-01, you know. And I figured, well, I got a Swan power supply sitting out there in the shed, so that counts, right? And I've got some Swan accessory stuff over here. So, you know. Anyway, it's fun. I appreciate you guys. And, yeah, Jay, boy, those 600 sounds great. Just beautiful signal tonight. And you know what? We can't leave Chris out, because Chris is in here. Chris is in here with his Swan, and it sounded good when he came in. So, Chris, welcome. Hold on. I'm going to turn it over to Phil, and maybe Phil tune in on us here, and tune in on this frequency, and then you should be pretty close on KFS, because I adjusted KFS for me, but anyway. You'll be able to be heard a little easier. Well, I just turned off KFS. I went over and heard you in direct because I can copy it. So anyway, my friend, I'm gonna say 73s this time, but I'll listen through. John, thanks for all you do, and the recordings and all of that kind of good stuff. And yeah, you and I have a pipeline. Yeah, string between us. Anyway, Mike, thanks for joining us. Hope you do it more often, that's for sure. And Ron, always good to hear you. Sorry Kevin couldn't get by, but I guess if I understood you right, that it was stormy up there and cold and windy and all that. So anyway, I don't know if he's home yet or if he was on his way home or what he was doing, but I know he was supposed to see you, so I'm sorry you guys didn't get to connect. Sounds like that's what happened. Okay, without further delay, Phil, over to you, and then please give it to Chris, KI6CSA, so he can show off that Swan. And
W6WHK, W6YEC.
W6YEC and 6WHK. Now the problem was I looked at the KSS, and I guess I must have hit the vehicle on this and moved myself off frequency. I should be sounding better, but I'm not losing the KSS. Then as far as your signal is good, that's beautiful signal. I cannot hear anything wrong with it. Sounds like you're living close by here in the nation somewhere. Very strong, very good. Skip, I'm having a little trouble with yours. You're a little weak on me. And AMI is the same way. He's no signal problem at all. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Chris. And see what he's done on his plate. This is probably my last time around for tonight, but I will listen out. So, with that AI6 it's all yours. Then 6WHK.
All right. And 6WHK. Bill, thank you. I have a real good copy on you, but I can hear you over there. No problem. I can hear George and then John and microphone, such as the Swan provided, the high impedance dynamics or the D104s, they all work quite good. The 638 that I'm using is a little bit on the low side because it doesn't have quite the high frequency response that I need with my low fundamentals there. So probably a D104 would be better. But it's okay. I like the old Electro Voice 638. But the audio appears to be adequate. The time constants, the RC constants are about right. So there's not a heck of a lot that has to be done. So there you go. Well, I don't know. If you want to do another round, you're welcome. But I'm always glad that so many of you showed up and support the group. And again, thanks to John and 9AMI for providing us. We have our own site now. And Jay, you might mention to him that you do the 20-meter net there every so often. Here from Southern California, the net control, and you might mention that frequency, and that would be a good place for it. Although I think probably John is aware of that. But even though, we're West Coast oriented, but hey, Swan is Swan, and the old Brooke Johnson legacy lives on. And you're absolutely right, Mike. There were thousands of these transceivers produced. And evidently, the DFS, but the one problem is that they are not super stable. But for a single conversion device, they work pretty darn good and they were priced right, and that's why he was so successful. I just wish we had a little bit better IF filter and, what the heck. All right, I'll turn it back to one final round, and you can say your 73s or whatever else there. Thank you for showing up and supporting this. And Mike, you're welcome. And as far as the audio response in the ear, as the age goes on, the response goes down. The high frequency response over 10,000, gets severely damaged. So it goes. It's normal part of aging. All right, I'll say my 73s and we'll listen out, whoever's still left there. So back to the top there, N9AMI, and then, down the list it goes, AMI, and then YEC is still there, George, and then K6ZSR, NWLJ, no, BWS, I'm sorry, KD6 BWS, and then ZSR, NWL, YEC, WHD, and CSA. And the Swan enthusiast, K6 little green light. Go ahead, John.
Okay, very good, man. Very good. Fun. It'd be a little more fun if we didn't have the QRM, but what are you going to do? And somebody moved in a little bit closer for a while there, but we're still making it work. So, and that's it's real vintage radio. None of these SDR filters or none of that. When things got like this back in the day, you'd usually stick on the headphones so you could hear a little bit better, and that's about all you could do. Anyway, hey Mike, on the modifications for the audio on the Swans, either the easiest modification was change the microphone, or number two, just don't turn it on. That's the other modification. Oh well, that's about it. Nah, I like the Swans. They're simple. They kind of got a bad rap, but I like them, and I used to have a bunch of them. I had a whole lot of them. My favorite was the 700CX. That was my favorite because 300 plus watts out isn't too shabby, and it was okay. So the worst one I think it was the 175. I would just touch that thing and it would go off frequency. Touch the case it had some serious problems. But I know Paul's got one, and he doesn't sound too bad on it. It sounds pretty decent, so there you go. And Chris, you're sounding good into Nevada, so no problem. The 500's doing well, sounds nice, just like everybody else. Even George's non-Swan sounds nice tonight. He always sounds good, no problem at all. The Kenwood sounds nice. That's it for me, 7-3 to everybody. And we'll do it again next week at 8 o'clock, I guess. Maybe we should post something. I'll post something on the little forum that just remind everybody Skip wants to go 8 o'clock, and we'll do that. And oh, Jay, I knew about the 20 meter net, but if you want to, I think you're on the list there in that group. But you want to promote it, go ahead and promote the damn thing. You guys do whatever you want, wide open. There's no rules on this stuff. It's just laid back. And I don't think I've ever had this Swan on 20 meters. I should try that. I think I've had it on 40 and 75. That's it. I probably put out about 10 watts on 10 meters, but I don't know. I guess I should try it sometime. All right, 7-3 to all. Ron, coming down to you. KD6 VWS. And oh, by the way, Skip, I think a bunch of people signed too on the list, so just be ready for silence. KD6 VWS and 9 AMI 7-3.
Swan. If you had a Swan radio, put them on. And then the up the round table, my antenna blows down, and Mike W7MS up there in Reno said it's Swan Karma that took the antenna down. And so I put up the makeshift antenna, got on the air, and then held the round table, and I was bragging about my Swan 500. I was telling everybody, man, this thing is like the anchor of my station. It never fails me. The antennas come and go, but this 500 is here to stay. And would you believe 15 minutes later, the Swan quit? Oh boy, I couldn't believe it. Talk about being embarrassed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And so I went on the bench the next day. It was an RF choke, a little RF choke that burned out. I found it, replaced it right away, and here we are. But talk about embarrassing moments, I'll tell you. But I think the Swan's good for another 20 years. I think so, yeah. Yeah, we're going to keep it. And I'm just really fond of it. When I got out of the service in 1967, they gave me a little bit of what they call mustering out pay. And the first thing I did is I replaced my ISO 753 and bought a Swan 350, brand new. Brand new radio I bought. And boy, I was so happy with that radio. And so I just been real fond of the Swan radios all this time. And I'm sure everybody else has a similar story. Yeah. So there you go. And let's see. Oh, George, you asked me how I get the thing up there at the 85-foot level. Well, that palm tree is about 100 foot tall. And so I built an antenna launcher from a YouTube video. And it's made out of PVC. And I pump air into it about 40 to 50 pounds. And I have a little PVC bullet that I made. And at the end of that little bullet is I tie on some 50-pound fishing string there. And then I point it about 10 feet over the palm tree, and there you go. It goes downrange. When I first did it, I didn't know how much of the power to put in there, or pressure. I pumped it up to about 80 pounds, and it ended up in the street, which was quite a ways away. So now I put about 45 pounds in it, and that's enough to get me up at 100 feet. And then when it goes over the tree, on the other end, I tie in some quarter-inch steel cable, and then I pull that through the tree. Now, the only reason why that thing blew over is the last time it was not dead center. Yeah, so because of that, when the wind blew, it just kind of fell off one of the fronds there. So tomorrow, if I put it up, I'm going to aim dead center, but you can never tell because there's always a little bit of wind, it doesn't take much to blow it off course. And by the way, if anybody would like to borrow this, if you're trying to go over a real tall tree, just send me an email, mike@k6zsr.com. I'd be happy to loan you this thing. You just have to be careful because it is a weapon, that thing, you gotta, treat it like it's a real gun. Because, I'll tell you, that thing doesn't fool around when you pull the trigger. It's 9 volts. up a landscaping sprinkler solenoid, and that releases the air. So not a problem. If anybody wants to borrow it, if you're doing a high antenna job, let me know. Okay, with that, I'm gonna let me see, who am I sending it over to? I'm gonna send it over to Jay, and it's been a lot of fun, fellas. I'll stick around as long as anybody else does, and so. There you go. I have a set of 4600. WB6.
The curse.
Somebody else was just trying to break in or not, Mike. But yeah, your signal came way up out here. K6RSR WB6MWL. Yeah, and Ron, the reason the Swan sounds so good is they have that 2.7 filter in there, which widens out the audio as opposed to Drake's 2.4 and Collins' 2.1. Now, some of the people have modified the Collins to make them wider, to make them sound better. But, which maybe I don't know, maybe you've done that to your S-line there. I don't know, that was a modification. They put wider filters out. I think even Collins did later on. I think they went to 2.4 or 2.5. I can't remember. But anyway, that's why the Swan sounds so good. And my first sideband rig was the Swan 350 also. I bought it from Bishop Hemp Supply out in Riverside here, which of course no longer there. It's long gone. But very good. And Chris, if you're still in there, that 500CX sounds good. You were up to S9 here last time, so it's working good for you there. So that, I guess that's about it. I don't know. I think George signed out here, so let me see if Chris is still there.
Why'd you see him?
KI6CSA, WB6MWL.
Anybody heard Jim?
Yeah, I'm still here, and we've got a break right there. Why don't you let's pick up the gentleman that wants to get in here. W6YEC. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. This is Whiskey Alpha 6, Alpha Tango Victor. I am not on my Swans right now, but I have a pair of twins, 600, and speaker and counter, the whole shoot match. That's 600 watts of output, or actually input. So right now I'm on a Pro 3 going into my antennas on 268-foot off-center fed dipole ladder line fed through my tuner, but my tuner is set up for 40 meters. I'm just too lazy to move it down here. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not a 75-meter guy anymore. I'm a 40-meter guy or higher. Anyway, so I'm wondering, why are you guys on 3895.8? That's a question I have. Swans were known for drifting. I'm just wondering if this is like something to do with that, guys. 3895.8 you're on. Over, WA6 Delta, Tango Victor.
Okay, Jim. Very good. Nice signal down in the San Diego area, 11 Grove, near San Diego. And Pro 3 sounds great, as they always do. Had one. And one of the other guys on here got it, and I think he's turned it off to somebody else for 7600. Anyway, the full wave loop's doing a great job. That's well, I'm running to about the same size, up about 45 feet. And well, it's called find your spot in between all the QR Mary. And there is the drift issue from time to time, but yeah, we have the East Coast coming through earlier and pretty strong right on 3895, and we actually were, I think, about 3896 something, and probably it drifted down a little bit. So that's to answer your question there. And we get started 7:30. I think next week we're going to start at 8 because of the change of time, but so if you want to join us early on, that's great. That's about when we get going, and K6 LGL Skip kind of runs the show. And we had a good crew in here tonight. Anyway, I stayed around because I wanted to hear Mike's answer to that palm tree question. And very good, Mike. That's awesome. And that's very kind of you to make that available to people. But yeah, that sounds like it could be a little dangerous. Yeah, I've got an old-fashioned slingshot I've used. You know, think about hanging some antennas down on the eucalyptus trees. But oh man, the loop does such a good job. And I'm so busy, I don't really have time. But it's kind of fun to play around with the antennas, that's for sure. And let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, the band really changed, and everybody came up with just beautiful signals. Beautiful signals. So, Chris, your Swan sounds wonderful. I'm sure glad you put that on. And you know what? To have a little extra power, it helps, man. It really makes a difference. So that's why I'd like to see you get that SB200 operating with the Morrow twins and the and the other stuff there, the 7600 now. You know, to get you up there 200, 300 watts, it'd make a big difference. But you were coming in nice. All right, again, I'll say 73s. I did kind of sign out, but I did want to hear Mike's answer there, and congratulations on the quick fix. That was kind of an interesting thing with you leading the pack on Tuesday, and then Swan night, and you put up that antenna, and kind of a comedy of errors, I guess you might say, but you recovered real nicely, Mike. You did a good job. All right. Good night to everybody, and I think Phil signed, and I'm not sure if he did or not. I think he did, Phil. I'm going to turn it to you just in case, and if Phil's not there, pick it up there, Chris, and I'll talk to you later. N6WHK if you're still there, Phil, otherwise KI6CSA. W6YEC.
W6YEC is 6WHK. Still listening. I was just listening out. Everybody who's closing out. And, yeah, that slingshot or air cannon sounds interesting to me. I'm going to do some research on that. See if I can find anything out on the web. So with that, I'm going to say adieu. Turn it over to Chris. And you guys have a good evening. Exactly right. Everything, buddy, just came up 100% from what you were a while ago when the band was long. So sure is a lot nicer now. So with that, KI6 CSA and 6WHK, if I can untwist my thumb.
All right, N6WHK, all right, Phil, thanks. Yeah, every signal's coming. Phil, you're about at 7. You're usually a lot louder. I don't know, maybe because we're really close. But yeah, everybody's signal came way up, and that made a huge difference. And the QRM went away. I don't really hear those guys on the frequencies below us or whatever. So that also helped. Yeah, good net. Skip, thanks for putting it together and holding it together and all that stuff. And my first tube rig was a Swan 270B, and I got that way back in 2017. But that opened my eyes to tube radio, and I've been addicted to it ever since. And that's one of my favorite rigs. They got tubes in them, I'm interested. And I can't remember who said, they're real radios. They don't have the GSP and all the filters and stuff. And yeah, real radios. But kind of like the old cars. No power steering, no power brakes, and you have to know how to drive. So, and I guess you got to know how to run the radio to one of these. So I think I'm going to say 7.3s. And then I'm going to hand it over to you, Skip. Thanks again. Good hearing everybody out there. And good to hear you, Jay. I can't wait to hear the CX5. The NCX5. I don't know if you've been on it. I haven't heard it over the air, I don't think.
WDV there. Jim, are you still there? K6LVL?
I am. I think you were talking at the same time as the other fellow was, and I didn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, let's hear from Jim if he's there. K6LVL before I pick it up.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Oh yeah, direct, no problem.
Yeah, I'm running a Pro 3 right now into an antenna that's tuned for 40 meters. It's a off-center fed dipole. 40 meters was pretty good maybe a week ago. And I just thought I would do that and leave it tuned up. Then I started coming back down to 75. I might have to tune the thing up to 75 again. So I have the Swan 600, and I like them. I got them in a trade. Just swapped the junk that I had for them, and I like them. I use the receiver, the VFO, so it doesn't drift. You know, every time you transmit, if you just use the transmitter VFO, you would start, the temperatures would change and all over the place. But if you use the receiver VFO, it's just pretty stable. I mean, I let it run for an hour before I use it, but it's not hooked. It is hooked up, but it's not really connected to an antenna right now because when I got the Pro 3, it was a little more fun. So, but I like the Swan. I used it since 1988, up until about 4 years ago. So, yeah, and so that thing works great. I guess it went into burning a few finals, and so I got to look into that at some point. I haven't done finals right now. If you want the RCA finals. So, back to you. WA6 Delta, Tango Victor, west of Palo Alto in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Okay, Jim, fine. WB6DTV. In the Santa Cruz Mountains near Palo Alto. K6 little green lights for the SwanNet. Hey, well, don't forget us. After the time change, we'll probably go back to 8 o'clock, and I'll start looking for the earlies about a half an hour earlier. So 7:30, Pacific Daylight Savings Time would be a good time if you want to get on and just have some informal chit-chat. Hey, the 600 is an interesting combination, It's another Swan, what can I say, And you could use the receiver VFO as that, and maybe control your transmitter VFO if you have it done. That's one problem. There are some drift problems, and they probably can be compensated for, I suspect, by building a very stable DC source for the oscillator, and then also improving the voltage regulation on the screen plate. So combination of those probably could stabilize it. They could do some work on the 117 power supply there, I think, to also make some minor improvements. All right, gentlemen, I think that covers it all. 73s, thank you all who showed up. And Jay, if you're still there, maybe if you want your activity there on 20 publicized on Swan West Coast thing that our friend John runs at 9 AMI, that's a good place to do it. In other words, another source. So, and there's also room for other activities there too, related to vintage sideband. I think John is not super particular on that. So, we could serve all the communities. And Mike, if you're still listening, you dropped out occasionally for some reason. Maybe there was, a second or two dropouts when you talk, and I don't know what is the function there. Is it a mic problem, or is it a relay problem, or AGC? Hard to say. But otherwise, sounds good. Well, like anything else, simple is best, and that's one thing. Single conversion that I mentioned on the article. Hang on a minute. Yeah. I think there was K0IZ in an article, February 2021, number 380, Electric Radio. And he did some interesting research as far as phase distortion and overload and various other things. And he came up, again, a very simple single conversion design called a tube-type high-performance radio transceiver. It may be worthwhile. I think some of the ideas that are suggested there were incorporated by Herb Johnson and his design engineer. So, you know, here we go again, back to basics, including a 10.7 IF, you know, which you use for discriminators and a standard thing in FM transceivers and receivers. All right, 73s, everybody. We'll catch you another Saturday. Good luck, hey, and stay healthy, and hopefully we'll see you all there next time. K6, little green light for the SwanNet. The net is closed and open to whoever wants to use it.